5 most evil humans to have walked on Earth. Some philosophers would argue that human nature, at its very core, is inherently good. That when given the choice to either inflict harm or help others, we would choose to answer to our altruistic nature and do what we can to make someone's life a little better. At least, that's what we would like to think of ourselves. But then, as much as we want to deny it, we humans aren't purely good, and that our lives are marred with the reality that indeed, we are also capable of doing something evil towards our fellow man. While we may have our own share of faults, they pale in comparison with the acts of these monsters who thrived in the suffering and death of other human beings. These are the 5 most evil humans to have walked on Earth. Number 5. Talat Pasha. Pasha served as the Grand Vizier of the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire from 1917 to 1918. Within those years, he ordered the complete annihilation of the Armenian race. His decree gave authorities the power to beat, torture, rob, rape, and kill people. Like what the infamous Adolf Hitler did with the Jews, Pasha ordered the internment of many Armenians into concentration camps. Others were forced to march in what is known as the Trail of Tears, wherein thousands of men, women, and children had died in the mass relocation. They were made to carry heavy loads and were beaten to death when they failed to continue. The male population of Angola reduced to 0 during Pasha's reign, when he also ordered their complete extermination. Some were forced to kill their own family members. These horrific acts, collectively known as the Armenian Genocide, resulted in the death of 1.5 million Armenians. Pasha was later assassinated in 1921. Number 4. Emperor Caligula. A lot of Roman emperors, especially those that ranged towards the decline of the empire, were known for their hedonistic and sadistic ways. But none of them can compare to Emperor Caligula, who once believed that he was a god and thus entitled to do anything he wanted. By anything, it meant the death and suffering of his people. What started as public torture and killing of prisoners soon degraded to include his political enemies, those who accidentally wronged him, and even his own friends. For no known reasons, he also ordered the decapitation, strangulation, and public execution of children, which he liked for parents to witness. A sex addict, Caligula was also famous for his insatiable desire to bed just about anyone that he could lay his eyes on, including his sisters. Caligula was killed in AD 41. Number 3. Adolf Hitler. This one is a no-brainer. The Führer of the Nazi Party, the terror of the Jews, Adolf Hitler was perhaps the most cunning, if not the most brutal dictator this world has ever seen. Together with his right-hand man like Heinrich Himmler and Adolf Eichmann, Hitler has caused the death of over 6 million Jews, the group of people which he believed to be the root cause of all the problems in the world. Jews in Germany and other countries were forcefully sent to concentration camps where they were made to work until they died. As if this was not enough, children and adults alike were sent to their grueling deaths either via gas chambers, crematories, firing squads, lethal injections, or medical experiments. Furthermore, Hitler's grand ambition to cleanse the world of impurities caused additional death of 50 million people, including homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, Freemasons, Gypsies, Slavs, and even the mentally ill. In 1945, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. Number 2. Pol Pot. If you think Hitler was already crazy enough, then think again and look eastward. You'll find Cambodia's Pol Pot to rival that of the German dictator in terms of cruelty. The communist leader believed that he had to destroy the Cambodian civilization first for it to rise up and enter into a new age. With his infamous revolutionary group, the Khmer Rouge, at his disposal, Pol Pot had nearly wiped out the whole nation of its citizens. It is believed that he was responsible for the death of around 2 million people, a whopping 25% of the entire Cambodian population. Millions more were displaced and forced to flee from their country. Those unlucky were tortured, made to work, and killed. What's even grittier is the fact that he especially instructed the Khmer Rouge to kill using traditional tools like hammers, spades, and axes. Pol Pot died in 1998 of natural causes. And number 1. Shiro Ishii. While most of the men on this list committed such acts out of anger and animosity towards other people, our worst guy right here is a whole different case. Shiro Ishii, the infamous microbiologist and the commanding officer of Unit 731, the nightmarish biological warfare unit of the Imperial Japanese Army during the Sino-Japanese War, was probably the coldest of them all. Ishii ordered the construction of a huge compound, comprising of 150 buildings to be filled with his human subjects. In the name of science on how to better kill humans and inflict pain, Ishii and his hordes of evil medical doctors conducted vivisection on living people, including pregnant women and children. Prisoners of war suffered too, by having their limbs get amputated only to be reattached to the other parts of their body to find out the extent of the damage that gangrene can cause the body. He froze people alive and thawed them later. If your gut can take it, you can research about Unit 731 and learn more about the atrocities committed by Ishii. Ishii was granted immunity by the American occupation authorities and died later of throat cancer. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.